Good evening and welcome to the February 2nd monthly meeting of the school board. We're so excited to have our friends from Millbrook here with us tonight. We have to do a little bit of business, but we're going to get to you as quick as we can, okay? Ms. Boucher, will you call the roll?
Ms. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. Dubois. Absent. Ms. Hastings.
Here.
Ms. Higgins.
Here.
Ms. Meeker.
Here.
Ms. Minot.
Here.
Ms. Sadowski.
Here.
Ms. Walsh.
Here.
And myself, Liz, is here. Ms. Boucher.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Higgins. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Second by Ms. Sadowski. I would like to propose a couple of amendments to the agenda. I would propose Krista McAuliffe Cares will not be here tonight. So I'm going to propose moving to item 5, public comment on the superintendent nomination only. We'll keep the other public comment. And followed by a vote on the superintendent nomination as 5 and 5A. Because we've got some other special guests with us tonight. And then in recognitions and report, under instructional or under the superintendent's report, I'm not sure if he was planning to address it, a discussion of the open enrollment legislation that is soon to be on its way to the governor's desk. You planning?
I can discuss and
Okay.
I can do it under the recognitions
And you need a microphone, sir.
Yep.
I can do it under the superintendent report.
Great, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Higgins. Any discussion? Any further amendments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the amendments?
Aye.
All those in favor of the agenda as amended?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Consent agenda. I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes the meeting minutes for January 5th, to the Executive Committee on January 7th, the Instructional Committee on January 12th, the Joint Facilities and Finance Committee on January 14th, the Executive Committee of January 21st, the Communications Policy Committee of January 1st, and the Special Board Meeting of January 28th.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Hastings. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Higgins. Is there any discussion or amendments?
Just real
Ms.
quick.
Meeker.
I will say, the Communication and Policy Committee is bringing for first reading a few of the policies we discussed on January 21st. Traditionally, when that happens, we will pull the minutes from consent to accompany the policies, but there's really no reason to do
We
so.
actually stopped doing that a couple
Did we?
of meetings ago because we were forgetting to vote on the minutes.
Love that for us. All right, so never mind then.
All right. Any other? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any opposed? Motion passes. Consent agenda passes. Now excited to welcome up the Millbrook School. I will say to the parents, there are a lot of you, so you might have to take turns, but if you want to come back and get pictures and see, you are welcome to come around the edges and stand behind us as well.
This year at Millbrook School, our theme is joy. All students and staff are invited to share what brings them joy. Ms. Scarpetti collects these moments of joy in her office, and she shares them on the morning announcements. Here are some examples of sparks of joy.
I feel joy when we play hockey in PE.
I feel joy when, what makes our What makes our school special is that everyone tries their best.
I feel joy when I'm playing with my friends. I love that at Millbrook School we learn.
I feel joy when I'm learning.
I like to play in the playground at school. I love playing with my friends. I love doing math. I feel joy when we ride bikes in PE.
I feel joy whenever I play and have fun.
I love making new friends.
I feel joy when I'm drawing or writing. I feel joy when we go to music.
I feel joy when I'm riding in fun places. I feel joy when we go to recess.
I feel joy playing with my friends and doing math.
We invite you to share what brings you joy in the Concord School District.
Do any of you want to share something that brings
I
you joy?
feel joy every month when I get to see you guys come in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you so much for coming out on a cold night.
Thank you, guys.
Anyone else? So you are all welcome to stay, but you're also welcome. We can take a minute break to. You can go. Next up, we're going to be voting on Ms. Scarpetti's new boss.
She's not allowed to call public
Just like makes my heart hurt. Yeah, I just can't.
Yeah. Right? Goes by fast.
It's just, the fourth grade concert, like last week, I was just like,
No, I don't feel the same way about the East.
I don't think you can.
That doesn't make me feel chills.
Yeah, you're right. Lots of men. So it's good. That's good. I was very, very letting me say what you won last week. Anyway, guys, I'm like, like you're not on the same because like I love you. Like said, I love ready before my kid invited themselves to the boys' basketball team, and they said, yeah, worst basketball game I've ever seen. Like it was awesome, and they just accepted my kid and that's it.
Is she playing?
Yeah, and they lost it like it was 20 to 74, I think. Did they play a lot of the game? What's that? Did Arya play a lot of the game? Yeah, like a good shot. My kid, he was really good. Like so bad. Arya's really good at defense. Like that's why they said that. Sometimes you bring in a ringer. Yeah. See how it changes the dynamic. My kid had the best, like, against the I couldn't, especially the flyers. Oh my god, like. Nope.
All right. We're gonna resume the meeting. Next up, I would open for public comment on the superintendent nomination. If anyone has comment on the superintendent nomination.
Mr. Ashard? No.
You want to talk about maybe new bucks?
Any of
All
you are
right,
welcome.
seeing none, I'm going to close public comment on the superintendent nomination and ask for a motion.
I would like to move that we make a formal offer, or
We confirm.
we confirm acting Superintendent Tim Herbert to be our superintendent going forward, not acting anymore.
I'll second all of that.
Whatever
that was, I'll second.
Paper.
Moved by Ms. Hastings, seconded by Ms. Higgins. Is there discussion?
Welcome to the jungle, my friend.
And thank you. Thank you for
Truly.
doing this with us, and we appreciate it.
You may hold the record for most titles in one school year, right? Principal, interim, acting, or acting interim, both. But we're very excited to have you. I think all of the feedback we got through the interview process and the public meetings was very positive. You jumped in with both feet, and we really appreciate it. We also really appreciate our special guests for allowing you to do that. Lee, Timmy, Weston, and Hope, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Since we are in celebration mode, I'd also like to note it is Ms. Yarlak's birthday today. And in a very unusual meeting for the board, we're going to take a 5-minute cupcake break to celebrate all of these things. I suggest we let Lee, Timmy, Weston, and Hope pick first.
All right, so very quickly, I move we go into a 5-minute recess.
Ms. Meeker moves a 5-minute recess. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Higgins. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Perfect.
All right.
Oh, I can tell you all these things.
back to order. Next item is our student report. Erin and Clementine.
Yay. Why is that? Okay. Hello everyone. Semester 1 closed January 23rd. Semester 2 has started and we are excited for the last section of the school year. The events that took place this January was on January 13th and 14th. AP classes had preview days for students to see what certain AP classes are like. Then on January 19th, we had Martin Luther King Jr. Day where we had no school. January 20th and then 21st were remediation days for students who wanted to raise their grades up or make up on a test. January 22nd and the 23rd were intercession days where students were able to sign up to go skiing, roller skating, cooking, and other fun activities that teachers had to offer. And then January 28th, CRTC had open house where CRTC were able to introduce the different CRTC programs and help students get a feel of what it's like. And then me and Clem, along with 300 other CHS students, participated on the CHS walkout on last Thursday in a peaceful protest against ICE. The CHS administration were aware of the walkout and helped protect the students who walked out. It was made clear that it was not sponsored or by CHS or they didn't organize it, but it was completely organized by students through social media. Then for upcoming February events, there will be a Poetry Out Loud competition this Friday, February 6th, and then Winter Carnival will also be held on February 20th, where all the clubs in CHS will be able to participate and sell goods and foods to help raise money for their clubs. Then part 1 of D1 States for Track and Field happened yesterday, where the boys 4x800 ran a personal best of 8:40. Congrats to Spencer Clemens, Connor Fennessy, Will McGee, and Josiah Conley. Part 2 for D1 States will also be happening this Sunday, February 8th at Plymouth State University. Please come and support the CHS track team. This is also including Clem, who will be running the 4x200. Yeah! Please don't come.
Too bad. Just in case we lose. Okay, so starting off with a few quick updates from the Abbott Downing Elementary School. So ADS has started their new Changemakers theme of self-awareness. They will have a read aloud with their buddy classrooms and an activity to complete together. There's also the 4th and 5th grade winter concert on February 4th at 1 p.m. for the school and 6 p.m. for the families. There will be drummers playing African drums, and the orchestra will also be playing. And then 1st, 3rd, and 5th grade will be starting a new reading and writing program called My View and CKLA. All right, back to CHS News. We started with course selection for the school year, which will be happening throughout this week. Counselors will work closely with students to make decisions for course selections. They closed February 9th. Ethics Club had their first Ethics Bowl preliminary round. They placed 5th amongst many schools from the New England area, ranging from private schools to boarding schools. Today, we started using SmartPass, which is an efficient software for monitoring the time students spend out of class. I personally heard a lot of interesting feedback from both students and teachers. It's still new, so we're waiting it out. Preview days for CRTC are this Tuesday and Wednesday. Students from the district schools check out the different CRTC courses and get an introduction to the programs. It closes, like the CRTC closes for current students for that time. And more upcoming dates, February 10th through 11th, we have access testing for ELL students. February 18th, CHS Pitch Improv Showcase, 6 to 8 in the auditorium. February 20th, it's the last day to drop a course for the semester. And then from the 23rd to 27th, we have winter break.
And last but not least,
congratulations to Mr. Herbert as our new
superintendent.
Yeah.
What are the concerns about SmartPass?
Is that the same system they use at the middle school? Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes they like to close the bathrooms for like certain reasons. So like it's just really annoying because it's a 5-minute pass only. And so like sometimes the bathrooms like on the west 4th floor will be closed, or it'll be closed on like the west 2nd floor. So I have to go find a different bathroom. And then I'm also thinking about, oh, my pass is still running. What if my teacher thinks I'm trying to skip class or something? And I don't want my teacher thinking that.
Here we go. I personally, I don't hate it. I think it's a nice solution to our skipping class problem. However, I just don't think 5 minutes is enough time to do what you need to do, especially because the walk there is already it takes a good minute depending where you are, because sometimes the bathrooms aren't available on certain floors or the entire building. And then also you have to be back in your class by the time that the timer runs out. So if you come back something seconds late, you still have to press the end button for it to actually be over. And so you might not technically be skipping class. You might, what if you're just a slow walker? What if you're having an emergency? It's just a mess, and I'm tired of it already. It's day one.
5 minutes to go to the bathroom sounds like it was designed by a man.
Ooh.
I was gonna say that.
But we're trying to stay open-minded because the idea is there. So hopefully it'll get fixed along the way. But
What happens if you're not back in the 5 minutes?
So I think the first time it just sends a notification, I think, to your teacher. But after many times where it says that you're late, I think you get a detention or maybe something even worse.
You don't get marked absent though.
No, because it depends. There's so many, I think, because there's so many situations, circumstances that can happen using the software. So there's just so many things that could happen. I don't even have the answers for it.
Okay.
It's just a mess.
It's also one student at a time. For the
Oh my
smart
gosh,
classes,
yeah.
One student in a class or the whole school?
One student in the class.
Okay.
One student in the
Yeah.
class, yeah.
So you pick this pass up in the classroom?
It's on your computer.
Okay.
I have
It's
it right now.
yeah, it's through Clever. So
So do you walk around with your laptop?
no.
Wait,
So
wait,
do you want to explain
I
it?
can explain it.
I actually had to use the Smart Pass today. Yeah. So you create a pass, and then you can tell it automatically knows what class you're coming from. So then you pick the class and you press going to the bathroom, and then you leave it in the certain area in the classroom where your teacher can see that there's a student already going to the bathroom. Then you just go, come back, end the pass, and then you just take your computer, and then another student can go to the bathroom.
So it sounds like it might just need a little time to work out the kinks.
Yeah.
Maybe 7 minutes or
Yeah, just more than 5 minutes.
well, 7 minutes is the passing period. So, and that's tough sometimes. So why would it be less time to
Right. Yeah, but that was it. That was good feedback.
Good feedback, thank you. Any other questions for our students? Superintendent Hurd, your report.
All right, thank you. First, I would like to invite out Diana Mayo. And you can bring your guests with you. Got seats right there. I'm really honored that Diana was able to make it here tonight. Diana is a Concord School District bus driver. And on January 3rd, our bus was transporting Concord High School wrestlers from Keene back to Concord when it experienced an engine failure and the bus caught on fire. Because of Diana's calm, quick, and steady response, a student and staff member was able to exit safely without panic. I've heard from numerous people, parents, students, directly from the students that were riding your bus that evening, as well as the coaches who were on, all of them expressing how you kept your composure, brought reassurance to them, and kept the situation under control, eliminating the stress that could have occurred during something of that nature. Diana, we want to extend our sincerest gratitude to you for your actions and your outstanding service for our students. I know you don't like the accolades, so I'll keep it brief as I promised, but truly, we are fortunate to have you as a driver in the Concord School District.
Thank you.
Any questions, comments?
No, we just, we had asked the superintendent to bring you in because we wanted to thank you as well. Absolutely.
Very well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for your quick
It was
thinking.
nice to meet all of you.
Yes, thank you for coming.
I think he might have been a former parent of one of my students.
Yes.
She's still the parent. The
No,
student.
I'm no longer the teacher.
Thank you. Say hi to
Thank
Katie.
you, Diana.
Thank you.
Next, I have just an update why she is here. Rebecca, while you're here, if you don't mind coming back up. This Rebecca Hart, she is our newly appointed transportation director. She's been working with us and correct me if I'm wrong, you have experience a total of 8 years up at the conf before coming here and working in our office at the SAU?
Sure.
Technically not.
Technically 9. Rebecca was put into a tough situation. We did have a committee. We interviewed several people. One of the key things for us is having somebody understood Concord, understood the routes in Concord, understood the bus stops, the streets, where we were having students, conjugate to be picked up, and the safety concerns as well as safety concerns of how many we were putting on the bus. I think Rebecca reflects that greatly in her work and her efforts. Mr. Richard has told me that the bus times have greatly improved for AM drop-off at RMS. She's bringing much needed, specific looks at our routes and how we're organizing our resources up there, and we really appreciate you coming on and accepting this position.
Thank you.
Thank
We're
you.
so glad you're here.
Nice to meet you.
And then next I have the Krista McAuliffe School Principal Search, which there's additional interviews going on tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to turn this one over to Kim because she's been chairing the committee.
Oh, thank you very much. We have 2 wonderful finalists for the position. We interviewed 3 in all, and all were excellent candidates. Very, very tough decision to make. Tomorrow we're going to be at Krista McAuliffe School, and we will be doing a second round of interviews and making a recommendation to the superintendent for a finalist to be interviewed.
Is this the public meeting for parents?
Parents are welcome, staff are welcome, it's open.
And it is at
Krista McAuliffe from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And that way parents that are on site can stay with their kids if they choose to. And we have a round of prepared questions for each candidate in separate rooms. And then the candidates will switch rooms, and so everyone will have a chance to interface with the candidates. And it won't be a question and answer forum. It will be prepared questions, and so that people can get to know the candidates based on those questions.
So the parents and staff can't ask any questions?
No, to keep it leveraged and equal for both candidates, we're doing the prepared questions.
My understanding is whoever the finalist recommended to me would have an opportunity in front of the parents in a different forum.
Thank you.
Am I correct?
Any questions?
Moving on, CRTC had a wonderful donation. Kingsbury Companies, their Vermont-based associated general contractor that deals with heavy civil construction equipment. They came to visit the CRTC Center and visited the Construction Trades 2 program. And while they were there, they did do a donation of $7,500 to the Construction Trades program. That does require school board vote.
And that vote is scheduled is item 15A.
Next, we have Millbrook School had a book donation from the Granite United Way. It's a donation of up to $250, where they will be able to expand on the library offerings. Katie is working with teachers right now to put together some potential selections of purchase. But this one is a smaller denomination of $250, so it does not require a board vote. It's just letting you know. And a little while ago, we had a board meeting where we were scrambling after learning about grants being pulled from us, the Child Mental Health Initiative grant, as well as our Project Aware work. We in less than 24 hours had a rescinding of that notification from the federal government, causing immediate whiplash and some angst with staff around these positions. They undoubtedly so not having that uncertainty of what was moving forward. First, I heard a resounding appreciation for the board's actions on that night, where we didn't know what we were going to be able to do going forward, supporting them and extending their pay up until tonight's meeting, so we could have several options for you to consider. What I heard resounding from them, resounding from the administrators that supervised them, is they felt very supported by the board that night, and they felt it was a bold statement that you care about, mental health of the students in our district. We did receive those grants back. They are currently in place, and we are currently receiving the funding we should have been receiving per the grant, and we are able to complete the programs that we had designated for that grant. So I wanted to give that an update, and at the same time, as a team, we are also exploring these positions and how we could potentially look at taking them out of grants and relying on grants to building them into the general budget, which grants are meant to be supplemental, and over time you're supposed to build them into the general budget, but that will be something we'll be looking at with the principals closely.
Thank you. If you could update on the open enrollment legislation, that would be great.
So over this past week, and I'll also invite Terry, as I go through this, feel free to chime in, all right? Over this past week, there was a session in the Senate, and they voted on a bill, SB 101, to go to the House. There was, about a couple weeks ago, Terry and myself attended a Senate Finance Committee where they received open testimony on it. What they did not receive did not permit open testimony on is part of SB 101, which was regards to open enrollment. So SB 101 touches base with the audio-video recording we've been hearing about, and that we had to get parental permission. I'm sure has impacted Clem and Aaron in school as well. So it's a bill with amendments that make sense that we would support for the educational purposes of the audio-video recording. Attached to that bill was open enrollment that was not open for discussion, no pun intended there. So that has been passed and will go before the House. In addition, there is HB 751 in the House, where it looks at licensed outpatient substance use disorder treatment facilities, and it also looks at treatment of adolescents with substance use. Again, something the general public and schools would be behind. Attached to that bill is also open enrollment. Things that are not addressed in regards to open enrollment and this iteration of it is, one, there's still several questions on how do we equitably distribute tax dollars. There is still several questions on whether the cap out, cap in, how do we report out? Are we required to take whoever applies? All these uncertainties about the bill are still not answered, and they are attached to this amendment, to these bills. What could potentially happen is if either one of them were to pass, we are led to believe that open enrollment could go in effect as soon as it passes, where originally we're optimistic that we had to July 1st to prepare. Terry, am I missing anything?
I think you covered it.
Yeah.
So yes, so this would be immediate, so without budget questions being answered.
Yeah.
We have a little more budget flexibility than a lot of our other
districts,
friends in other districts who are doing their budgets now, and I don't know how those will be impacted. One of the questions I wanted to ask this board is if we wanted to, we don't do this often, but if we wanted to take a position formally on this bill. If we do, we could do it under votes after public comment, but I just wanted to put that out there for folks. Ms. Higgins.
I always take issue when legislative bodies tack things onto things. Oh, of course, we'll do this wonderful thing for you that makes sense, but we're going to tack, a new bridge somewhere or whatever. So that makes me leery of vocally accepting it. Having said that, here we are. So I'm wishy-washy at the moment.
Well, the governor will have to decide whether or not to sign this. And, I know other school districts are organizing. I will say that, I know we have concerns about the policy in general. We have concerns about the equity because not every family is going to be able to afford to bus their child, although apparently there's a transportation impact too because people can drop their kids off at our bus stops.
Yeah.
There's very little information, so, and they're going to not give anyone any planning for it, so that's my concern.
Right.
Ms. Sadowski, Ms. Minot, and then Ms. Meeker.
I also think that we should comment on the process. I mean, it is very unusual. In the state of New Hampshire, every bill has a public hearing. And the fact that the public was not able to weigh in on this aspect of a non-germane piece of legislation is really...
Yeah, that's my issue.
I mean, I think it's unprecedented. I don't
Not quite
know, but it
unprecedented,
just
but
feels very like the antithesis of the transparent kind of education we want to deliver in this state.
I've read the Senate bill, not the House version. I don't know if they're identical, but one issue that I think is new in this version of the legislation is that a parent from the sending district, if their district has a lower per pupil spending than ours, the parent would be responsible to pay the difference. And I have so many questions about how that works and what happens to the student if the parent doesn't pays for the first half of the year and doesn't make the payment for the second half of the year. I don't know if we would have to develop a policy around that, if that's entirely up to us, or what happens. There are just so many questions that this bill creates and that are unanswered and unclear, I think. It would be very challenging to implement.
Ms. Meeker?
I would agree. I think that, regardless of where each one of us stands on the concept of open enrollment, I think what we're facing is an inability to accommodate what they are asking of us because it is not written in a way, crafted in a way, negotiated in a way that gives us guardrails, that gives us boundaries, that gives us understanding, and it creates chaos statewide. And I think taking a stand as a board on that, taking a position on, if the state of New Hampshire cherishes public education, as we discussed in our retreat, then they need to work with school districts in figuring out how we navigate what they are asking of us. So I would be very happy to move on taking a position formally as a board.
The lack of communication or willingness to discuss with school districts is, I think definitely one of the major problems with the bill, the lack of awareness of how we work. It seems to be really, and there's a lot of questions. We were supposed to post our capacity. It doesn't say how this is going to be enforced, but I assume the Department of Education, and one of the things we discussed at our retreat is we have class size guidelines, but we try not to go to the high ends of our class size guidelines. We try to stay at the middle or below. If we set our capacity below the middle or below the high end, is the state going to come in and say, no, you have capacity? These are,
local control issues.
Real control issues. They have a goal and they don't seem to want to talk to anyone about how to get there.
I just had a quick question. But if we vote to not support it, then it also doesn't support the photography piece? Because they tacked it on, the whole thing disappears? I mean, that can be renegotiated.
They could put it on another bill. That's not the controversial piece.
No, I understand. But I hate that they manipulated it. Just feel manipulated.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes me want to say no to the whole thing, but anyway.
Yes, and to Ms. Sadowski's point about the process, I do believe that if we, as a board, us being Concord, being one of the leading districts in the state, if we were to issue a statement, that may inspire other districts to then issue their own, and it can lead to that domino effect, and that is going to be the best way to get our voices out there as boards.
All right, so it sounds like there's consensus. I'm gonna put that as item D, 15D. The other thing that I wanted to bring up it's more for scheduling purposes, but we had, as a board at our retreat, discussed that we thought we needed to relook at our device policies for younger students, particularly kindergarten and first grade. Pre-COVID, we did not have a device for every kindergarten and first grader. That was something that happened in COVID. I think there was discussion on the board that while we wanted them to have some access for Alexia and things like that, we wanted to relook at this and whether we should be investing that much in devices or whether we should be pulling back on screen time for younger kids. So I was hoping for a motion to direct the instructional committee to take up this issue, and I think they're available to do that on February 10th at 5 p.m., and they hope to invite the elementary school principals and teachers to join them for that.
Absolutely.
So
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Hastings makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Higgins. Discussion.
I think it's really important that we take a look at this. All of the research that we're seeing and hearing about is that we don't want younger children on devices. We want there's sort of a trend right now to go back to paper and pencil and real book reading, and I don't see anything bad that could come from that. I'd love to hear from the principals and the teachers in the elementary schools, but I kind of believe that they'll be supportive of that. So let's have the conversation and then bring it back to the full board and see where we go.
Anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Cashman, facilities update.
Thank you. Coming into tonight, I wasn't thinking of talking about the high school auditorium ceiling again, but I did want to say that officially today the project did close out from a number standpoint, $215,249.51.
I'm sorry, what was the number?
Under $215,249.51 under budget. So the reason I wanted to bring that up, not only because I feel that that's good news, but also I want to take a minute and just say to the board, thank you for the support. Thank you to the high school staff and students, and also to Harvey Construction for doing a pretty great job on that project. So, and then
Can I just, we were $215,000 under budget?
Under the original quoted number for
Which
that.
was about 750, right?
751.
That's fantastic.
Came in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, thank you.
And then I'll roll right into the middle school project.
Just a second. Clementine, did you have a question?
No, I said wow.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just saw your hand.
Just a quick point out to people listening at home, the reason we could come under budget is because we don't have to put every single decision we make to a vote. We could give Matt latitude to go ahead and work on these things. Sometimes we take a lot of heat from the public that we spend money any way we want, and you're right, sometimes we do, but we saved $220,000 because we said, get this done. So I just wanted to point that piece out.
And just to add, insurance covered.
Insurance
The whole
covered,
thing.
yes, they did.
It's also a good example of using the no bid contract clause where we were able to,
Yes, right,
I know that we get some pushback about that as well.
Yeah.
So right into the middle school update, the alteration of terrain permit was submitted last week. We also last week, we held our first logistical coordination meeting with Harvey, with Principal Richard. Jack came over with me and we looked at all sorts of things like parking, laydown space, how the operation would flow, where the construction fencing. It's one of many that we're going to have leading up to April when we break ground, but I just wanted to keep you posted that went really well and we were able to meet the whole construction team that's going to be directly involved with the project and us. We also have a building committee meeting this Thursday at 5:30. We're going to talk about traffic, temporary athletic fields, LEED certification, a little bit on the exterior elevation reviews, and we're going to talk over a little bit of the square footage just because I think there's been some public comment with differing numbers, so we're just going to clarify that at that meeting. Lastly, I'd like to say Terry Wolf put together really nice, we put a draft in front of you. I'll let Terry talk to it. It's a project update that we plan on doing throughout the project.
Thank you. So we're going to provide this in the board packet every month. And so it's just a comprehensive, we'll try to have a consistent format. So if people are looking for information, especially we hear questions about, you know, the size or different things. Just kind of, it's a little dashboard that we'll be sharing. As we start actually construction, we'll have financial information in there, like where we are on benchmark to the project. This will also be shared. So we do have a Parent Square community group where any individual in the community, in the state, can sign up for updates. This will be shared through that also on a monthly basis, as well as any further details. And then this item is also shared as a news item on our website. So we have multiple ways for people to be able to access this. Any feedback? Something you'd like to see, if you think there's anything missing, you know, let us know.
I love this. And just remind us, if somebody in the community does want to sign up for that Parent Square, should they just go to the website? Is there a sign up there?
I don't know if there's a fresh version of it, so
Okay.
I can make sure that that's in a prominent place that doesn't rotate out.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say I would love to have that in each monthly.
Oh, that's a great idea,
report,
to add it.
because as people sort of come on and they're seeing something for the first time that maybe we've seen 100 times, that they can see immediately, this is how I get information. That would be awesome.
Nope, that sounds great.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I would just say, I think I heard you say it, Matt, but you'll be discussing athletic fields at the building committee. I've had a couple of questions from parents like, hey, we're actually doing this thing. Are we going to have continuity in sports this upcoming year?
We are. Steve Largy, our athletic director, do you want to add to that a little bit?
I can say more on Thursday, but we're working with the city. We're working with other partners and other school districts. Obviously, with the fields being under construction, that's a huge resource that we typically use, not just run the middle school athletics, but also Concord High School athletics in the spring and the fall. So we've been working with all of our partners in the community to find every blade of grass we could possibly play on. The state of New Hampshire, the fields across the Hugh Gallen states, we've already secured that. For the high school, we've secured some weeks at the Pembroke National Guard facility. We'll have to think through some other things, logistics like transportation, because we'll also have to move our kids if Runlet is not available, and we're hoping that we still have access to the 100 wing fields, so we can keep a lacrosse team practicing there through the duration, which is super helpful. We can also move to other parks for our middle school lacrosse, and then our track. We'll be looking at other schools such as Millbrook. Again, all tentative plans, but we've rolled around quite a few scenarios.
That's great. And I think it's helpful that we say it here, because I think a lot of times people will check into the general meeting but not realize that a lot of these in-depth discussions are happening at building committee. So it's really just nice to know that you guys are on it. I have every confidence that you'll find every blade of grass in this city that we can. And I just really appreciate that you're having ongoing conversations, because, you know, when things go quiet, sometimes people think things aren't happening in the background, but they clearly very much are. So I'm sure they'll be very excited to hear that.
Yeah, I understand that being a cause of anxiety, and we are going to work through all of those challenges. We're going to continue to talk about that, and I thought it might come up tonight, so
I appreciate you being here.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mr. Dunn was at the school care
Yes,
meeting.
he is. He just, I sent him a text message a moment ago about an ETA, and he's about 20 minutes away.
Okay, so we will, if without objection, move on and come back to Mr. Dunn. Communications and policy.
Sure. Hi, everybody. If you care to advance to page 46 through 81 in your packet, we have 3 policies before you tonight that are coming before you on first reading. So there's no motions to be had, no discussion to be had. We are just bringing them to the full board. The first policy is policy 542.1. It is a new policy titled Unauthorized Communication Devices. This is a policy that was written in response to the recent legislation for the cell phone ban. It's not called the cell phone ban policy. It's called Unauthorized Communication Devices. It's lean, it's streamlined, it complies with the RSA. We know that this is already basically in effect in our schools and going from what we hear quite well. So this is just putting pen to paper and making sure we have something on the books. The other, excuse me, the next policy is 580 regarding student records and access. This was brought to us by the district for a minor change update to ensure that intervention teams within the district are covered for when they need to access student information. It includes language about them in those employees that might have legitimate educational interest, I believe is the defined term. And so it really is just making sure that employees within the district that have a reason to access student documents are covered in the policy. Questions about this can be directed to Karen Fisher Anderson or Superintendent Herbert. It is language that was brought to us, but after a quick discussion, it seemed very straightforward, and so we decided to bring it to the full board for your review. The third policy is policy 741, facility use. Those of us who've been around a little while may think this looks familiar. It's because it is. We did update this either last year, maybe the year before. The years tend to blend together now. It is coming back to us because of a recommendation from Bond Counsel. So Jack brought this change to us because there are issues with, let's say, a for-profit entity utilizing our nonprofit space and getting in-kind value. There are some other things that he brought up that someone who's much smarter than I could explain if you were here. But basically, the legal team came forward with some language that they wanted us to add to the policy that just basically says if we need to break a reservation, if we need to say, hey, sorry, you cannot use this facility, that we can do so no matter who is renting the facility within a day's notice. We did ask Jack to maybe go back to the legal team and make it a little more specific to what their concerns are, because this language that they've given us is a little bit broad. And so he is looking into that, but in the meantime, to keep on pace, we're bringing it to you for first reading, knowing that we have a full month before second reading when we can make any necessary amendments based on the feedback that Jack gets. Does anybody have any questions, concerns about those 3 policies? No. Great.
So
Back
we will
to you.
do second reading this week. Negotiations, Ms. Guerin? Any updates?
Good evening. We met with CEA on Friday, and we did come to a few TAs and making some progress and have some more meetings scheduled for February and early March. And we did receive notification in regards to the tutors, which does expire this year as well. We'll be bringing that information on Wednesday's negotiation meeting with the board.
Okay. Let's just go right into nominations.
We do have one winter coach for girls freshman basketball. It is Kevin Raha.
I move we accept the nomination.
Is there a second? Second. It's page 82. Are you?
I have a question when it's time
Oh,
for
yeah.
discussion.
Yeah. Go
Is
ahead.
this retroactive? Because basketball season's almost over.
Correct.
Okay. That was like, why are we nominating a coach now?
We better
Because
say
they
yes,
go to
is
the
what you're
board.
saying.
It's a timing.
Got it.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. upcoming postings?
We will be going live with some postings now that we have our superintendent position filled for this year. We will be posting tomorrow the Concord High School principal position.
We don't have to. I'm just saying.
We do have our director of special ed for the high school. Due to her retirement, we will be looking for an assistant superintendent for student services, as well as filling. We have received a couple of retirement notifications. We'll have an occupational therapist and a special education teacher at the high school, as well as filling a CRTC theater position.
Goodness.
All right. Busy season. Instructional committee, program of studies.
Yes, if you look at page 86, you've seen this before, but I'm going to ask Assistant Superintendent Yarla if she wants to just point out where the fine-tuned changes were with the numbers for math, I believe it was. Or Superintendent Herbert, either one.
Okay, thank you very much. You have seen this document before, and this went back to the instructional committee for revision, consideration, as well as going back to the curriculum facilitators at the high school, has had many, many conversations. And this rendition right here was approved by the instructional committee with the clear designation of math having a total of 4.0, with 2 of the 0.5s being in statistics and data analysis, as well as financial literacy.
That was a unanimous recommendation as well from the instructional committee.
Yeah.
So this says 3 plus a half, so is it?
I think the financial literacy
It's
covers the
just
other
above
half.
Yeah.
This
I
was a
thought-
good meeting. I mean,
It was
we went
a good
around
meeting.
and around.
I do think we had
We had
talked
the
about
mutual
putting
cheer.
financial literacy underneath the mathematics as well, with the statistical.
Okay.
I mean, the statistics and data analysis, so that it was all incorporated in
And
the
clear
math.
that it was in
Yeah.
the math, okay.
But these had already, I think this might have already been printed, so that's why you're seeing it here, but going forward, it would be there. It does stay above it?
But it can still count as math.
It would still count though, right, as a math?
It can, yeah.
Okay.
Questions? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Higgins, is there a second?
Seconded.
May we suspend until after public comment?
Oh,
Yes.
Second public
Sorry,
comment?
Right.
Good call, Kara.
All right, which leads us to public comment. Is there anyone who would like to testify on anything other than the superintendent, which we did public comment on earlier? Unless you now have regrets. Tam,
Now's the time.
if you'd like
It's
to ask for a recount.
It's like a wedding. Speak now.
All right, seeing none, I'm going to close public comment. Coming to the votes, we will take a motion to approve the donation from Kingsbury Company.
So
moved.
Oh, sorry.
Moved by Ms. Bonneau, second by Ms. Meeker.
Sure. Why not?
Any discussion?
Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing none, motion passes. Now I will take a motion to approve the program of studies, which
So
was
moved.
Ms. Higgins.
Seconded.
And second by Mr. Dubois. Discussion.
I think we're just clarifying that we're actually I feel like we've adopted the program of studies, but this is the adoption specific to page 6.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of the minimum credits for graduation. I appreciate the instructional committee and the team going back on this. I had some concerns. So I feel like we've made some progress.
And it was a very healthy conversation that did not have agreement at all. And we talked around and talked around and talked around, and when we finally came up with something, I went, yes, and Sarah went, yes, and we were on opposite sides of the, it was one of those perfect meetings where it all just falls into place, so, yeah, it was good.
I understand that a lot of the additions are state mandated, but is there any concern that our minimum requirement is 2.5 credits more in 2030 than it is in 2027? Like, is that going to cause any challenges for students to be able to meet those requirements,
I
or is
know
that easy to fit?
the minimum 306s are not required until the graduating class of 2030. They go into effect with this freshman class, so previous classes would still be, expected to meet whatever graduation requirements we have in place.
What's a typical number of credits that the average
20
high school student finishes
20.
with?
Typical number of credits they finish at
Yeah.
Concord High School, they exceed, we've had some over 30, we've had some, I would say between the range of 26 to 30 is pretty common.
We had actually, several years ago, started a process of gradually increasing the number of credits.
We were like the lowest in the state for a
Because
while.
we were at the lowest. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you all. I took a stab at drafting a motion on open enrollment discussion. So move that the Concord Board of Education authorize the superintendent and the board president to oppose legislation that would immediately implement open enrollment and call on the governor to veto such legislation.
I'll second it.
Further, the Board of Education calls on the legislature and the governor to engage in an open and transparent discussion with school districts about their concerns on open enrollment.
Seconded.
She took it from me.
So I made second by Ms. Nadowski. I do want to say that, one of the things we've been asked to sign on to is an open letter from a number of elected school board officials. I would consider that included in this, unless there's objections. I think a lot of you have gotten that as well, but also to write our own letter calling on the governor to veto it if it passes the House this week. Discussion?
No.
Here. I think it's,
Okay.
I'm excited for them to hear what's going on with us. So thank you for bringing it.
All right, then, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Monthly enrollment reports and other business.
So, if we look at the first page, overall, just a summary, we are seeing an increase at the elementary level of 13 students since our, since our previous meeting, the overall numbers at the elementary level. The biggest gain has been, or the greatest growth has been at Broken Ground with 7 students. Again, working with Kyle, talking about the students as they come in, looking at class sizes is something that we're always in tune with the principals, and they'll express if there's an additional need, and that's what we have our contingency funds, if there's a need for an instructional tutor or something to support that growth. RMS is increased by 1. We have a decrease at Concord High School of 9 students. We went from 320 to 1311 for various reasons, some to homeschools, some to aging out of programs and no longer being a student because of aging out. But so for various reasons, we are down 9 students at the high school. And then CRTC, we do have an increase in our preschool by 2, which is a fluctuating number based on students' age. And then at CRTC, we've had a decrease in 2 students.
Thank you.
Going on to the next page, it gets a little bit more detailed into where we're seeing the growth in the district, and at what schools and what they're experiencing. Again, I emphasized earlier that the largest growth has been at the elementary level. You see
In the 4th grade, apparently.
Yeah.
What was in the water?
It was COVID redshirting.
Yeah.
We have what I would bring your attention to is that red box. This is some kind of scary numbers, and some our out-of-district placement increased by 1. That's not so startling. Our special ed students at charter schools decreased by 1, so someone came back. But our homeless numbers have increased by 24.
Good. 24.
From last.
To 122.
Yep,
Are
it's
these
122.
Concord residents that are unhoused, or
No,
are
it's
they-
not. It's not all necessarily Concord residents unhoused. It could be a student. Majority are Concord residents unhoused, but it could be a student who's attending Concord School District that may be of the Manchester School District. But there is a collaboration and a fee that we encumber in order to support that student's continuity of education. But we have a process to determining which district will provide the education and how that whole piece happens. Whenever possible, it's usually determined in the best interest of the student is to stay in the district in which they were living in. But occasionally, due to the hardship of the time, travel, and all that, it makes sense for a student to stay in the district in which they're living in at a cost share with the district that was their district they were living in.
Thank you.
In addition to that, I just want to point out we had a decrease in our ELL students. We are down from 338 in the previous month to 306 this month. I don't know if that is, because access testing has not fully occurred. The window is open, but I don't believe we've evaluated all our students. I do not have an answer to that major fluctuation in numbers. It's something that I'll follow up with the teams and see if there's any factors that may be internal or external that could be contributing to this decrease in numbers.
Any questions on enrollment? Our calendar for February and March as we begin budget season. Lots of busy time.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Kara, didn't we move that Tuesday communications and policy meeting to a different date?
The one that's on the 9th?
It's in March.
Oh, the March one. Yes, we did ask to have that moved, so we
Okay,
can we can ask again.
All right, so why don't we
when we get
do
to
this
March.
as we go through
That's
this?
good.
Negotiations, I believe we're meeting at 5? Oh, no, we don't have a follow-up meeting, so it's 5:30.
So there's no facilities on Wednesday? Because on the online calendar there is. On the website I checked.
We were going to talk about that tonight. I noticed that it's not on the calendar, but we figured it made sense because on the facility night for budget, we're going to be talking about summer projects and the capital improvement plan. So we thought we'd bring it up here to see if that was okay
To not do the
to not
facilities.
do it. Right.
Oh, because you're just going to give the same presentation. Mhm.
Right, yeah.
Sounds good.
That sounds good. All right, so 5:30 to 6:30 or 5:30 negotiations. Building committee, the 5th at 5:30. Communication and policy, the 9th at 5:30. Instructional committee is going to meet, they're going to talk about devices. on
Did
the
we want to do that at 5? Did we?
10th at
If we-
5
If we
p.m.
can, that would be
Yeah.
super helpful.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock for instructional on the 10th. Budget opening presentation on the 11th.
Yay.
Sorry. Buckle up, people. 16th executive at 5, budget at 5:30. The 18th, we have legislative breakfast at 7:30 and budget at 5:30. So
Is
nice
that it?
to end the day and begin the day with all of you at gratitude
It is
at
a
the high
gratitude,
school.
yeah, okay.
Bridget, when we met with the joint city and community, we discussed inviting the Pennacook members and the Merrimack Valley superintendent, so the Pennacook members of the Merrimack Valley School Board to attend
that's
this
right.
as well. So if we could extend that invitation formally to them. The 19th, we're going to do city and community
Yes.
relations at 5:30. And that's to discuss Memorial Field.
Yes, looking at the plans.
Mr. Legge, you might want to be there for that
Yeah,
one.
that would be helpful.
And then,
Thursday the 19th, 5:30?
February.
and winter recess. Budget, March 2nd, budget work session at 5:30, Board of Education full meeting at 6. The 4th, negotiations at 5, budget work session at 5:30. Building committee at 5:30 on Thursday the 5th. The 9th, budget work session at 5:30. We want to move communications and policy to when?
Barb, what did you say?
I could do I could do Thursday, any Thursday.
Okay, then we'd like to change it to
Okay.
Thursday the 12th, please.
I think you might not want to, because the 12th is the
Yes.
abutters meeting
Yeah, it
for the
had to
middle
be-
school,
it
so
had to
you
be
might
later.
want to be there.
I mean,
How about the
I'm hardly
19th?
in a butter, but
You could do the 19th? Or do you want to just keep it to 12 and don't worry about
no. Let's. What about
The 19th?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do the 19th.
All right,
Sorry,
so communications and policy on the 19th at 5:30. Going back, the 11th is a budget work session at 5:30. The 12th is we're going to be hosting a meeting for abutters of the middle school.
Where are we hosting that?
Do we have a location yet? At the middle school, I assume?
Yeah.
That's what we were considering, yep.
Yeah, makes sense.
16th, public hearing at 6 p.m. on the budget.
Oh yeah, are we still doing Millbrook?
You know, this was tentative. We were looking, this wasn't. And then 18 here at the central office. 19th, communication and policy at 5:30. 23rd, executive committee at 5, budget work session at 5:30. And 25th is the vote to finalize the preliminary budget. Any other additions?
Scuba gear, we need scuba gear. I feel like we're just gonna-
Actions? How's Mr. Dunn doing? I took as long as I could to
Mm.
do
I like one update.
I'm stretching it
I
out.
can give one update.
Yeah.
While he looked up.
Ms. Campbell?
So in everyone's packet tonight, you got a big book from CBIZ. We did go through our audit. We are going to have someone from CBIZ come and present the results after budget. So at that point, we'll also have gone through our audit of the federal funds that we have received. So stay tuned for those exciting details.
Anything of note in the audit?
It is beautifully boring.
That is what we like to hear
Good.
with audits. Beautifully boring. Ms. Superintendent, do we need a non-public?
We do need non-public.
Okay, under
Personnel, so,
under personnel, okay.
yep.
I'll take a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A3 to discuss personnel matters.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Higgins. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Minot. This is a roll call vote. Ms. Shea, will you take
Ms.
the
Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Du Bois?
Yes.
Ms. Hastings?
Yes.
Ms. Higgins?
Yes.
Ms. Meeker?
Yeah.
Ms. Minot?
Yes.
Ms. Sadowski?
Yes.
Ms. Walsh?
Yes.
And I am a yes.
For Concord Television, I don't anticipate coming back into public session to do anything other than to adjourn. So we will let Concord TV go. Thank you all for coming this evening. Thank you. Thank you. Were you waiting upstairs?
Jack, what does CBIZ stand for?